Hi, very good evening to everyone. This is your host, Kevin Feng. Thank you for joining me on the night show tonight. And a very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the world. Mothers have done a tremendous great job for all of us, yeah? Okay, so let me know where you guys are dialing in from. Just drop me a comment, say hi, and be more than happy to do a lot of exchange with you guys. Okay? So very good evening to everyone. If you just joined the show, okay. So what we will actually be doing here for today. In fact, this is episode 8, live with Kevin Fong. Now, what I've been doing for the last 7 sessions is I'm taking some time to be helping the community to kind of decode your Bazi chart. Okay. So today I'm going to add on a little bit more different element. I'm going to talk also more about how we can use some of the Feng Shui configurations for your house. All right, so sounds good. So if you like this, help me punch in yes. Okay, so I know that you are tuning in to this right now. Thank you so much for having me. All right. Okay. Yeah. In fact, Mother's Day has been going on for the whole day. So I see a lot of celebrations online, offline. But of course, the fact it's in Singapore, I think most of us is still celebrating at home. So it doesn't matter that you can't be meeting your mom. Sometimes maybe just giving them a phone call. Or even, you can order some food deliveries, nice food for your mom. And I thought that would be a very good gesture, right? Don't you agree? Okay. So let me know, where are you guys connecting from? Are you from Singapore, Malaysia? We in the last few episodes, we have people all over the world. So we have India, and then we have people connecting from New York, right? In fact, at 6 a.m. in the morning. So I was very surprised. Okay. So saying some shout out to some of you guys. Okay, just keep giving your comment coming. Okay, so hi Francis, hi Helen, hi Terrence, okay, hi Joshua, right? So let me know where you guys is connecting from, so at least I know how you guys tuning in with me tonight. Okay, so hi Magdalene, right? Okay, so great, right? So hi Joanne, hi Jesse. Wow, there's a lot of people here tonight with me. Yeah, so thank you for spending your evening with me. But I assure you that this will be one of your best evening ever, because you took the action, right, to decode something about your date of birth and time. I'm also going to talk about Feng Shui practices. In fact, some of the very simple Feng Shui practices you can be using for your home and office. But of course, office at this point of time, maybe it's not so applicable because you can't be going on to the office, right? So you can use this application for your home. So I'll be talking about that for the 2 parts. So now I will break this whole live session into 3 parts. So the first parts, I will actually go through your Bazi, decoding your Bazi, right? So kind of re-summarize what we have gone through over the last few episodes, right? Hi Frank, good to have you guys. Okay, so I'll talk a bit more about the 10 God studies. Okay, so what do you guys have in terms of your 10 God, right? So thank you for a lot of the comments. Keep all your comments coming in, yeah, because I love to have your comments. And in fact, what you can do for us right now is I will need you guys to help me on a favor. Now, do help me to like and share the post. Now, when you share the post, you need to set the post to public. Okay, so don't just share, set it to public. The reason of doing that, because in the second part, I'll be taking some Bazi questions, right? So you can actually key in your date of birth and time if you don't mind sharing, right? Your question. I will try to answer those who have obtained the status that is called sharer. So how do you go about getting this status? Is quite simple. All you have to do is you share the post. And the third step is you have to set the post to public. Once you've done that, Facebook will start to list you as a sharer. So once you're a sharer, then what I can try to do is I will pick some of the questions from those people that have the status sharer, and I will try to answer these Bazi questions online with you guys, giving you directions. This is part 2 of our Bazi Q&A, right? So it's a question and answer session where I hope that you can learn something along the way while answer some of the question. Now, the third part, which I'm going to be talking about it a bit more, right? It's let me just show my screen, right? I have a lot of content prepared for you guys. Now, the third part, I'll actually be talking more on the Feng Shui setup, right? So what sort of Feng Shui should we be doing? In fact, you will want to stay with me throughout the entire session, because I actually have a lot of write-up for you guys. I even had it down in the form of a PDF file, right? So some of you have been with me for a few episodes. You know my style. It's towards the end of the live session, I will give you guys a link, okay, whereby you'll be able to access some of this PDF file. I give you the notes you can access this when you are free, when you are doing your whatever you're doing. When you are getting a bit more time, you can refer to your PDF notes. And I thought this is very, very useful for all of you. Okay, so I have all of these notes that's already ready. Please make sure you stay with me to the end of the live session. I will have a robot that can actually help accumulate who are the one that wants the PDF file, and then we can generate the links and send it to you. So it's a very straightforward process. Okay, so right, so let's just talk about it in terms of your Bazi chart for a fair bit. Now we have discussed the terms that is called 10 God structure. Now, if you don't know how we are actually getting the Bazi chart itself, let me just get you the link here. Okay, so let me just pull up the comment for a fair bit. Okay, so now if this is the first time, right, you have joined my session, you don't know how do we really plot a Bazi chart from here. I have to explain every single time because some of you is connecting in for the first time. Some of you has been with me for a very long time. Congratulations. Okay, so this is what you will be doing. You goes to the URL, mybazi.info. Now, generating your chart is free. You don't have to pay a single cent. There's nothing for you to pay, right? So just go to the URL, generate your own chart based on your English, date of birth and time. Now, the minute you've done that, make sure that you click the plot button. So once you've done that, you'll realize that your chart is generated like what I have on my screen right now. Okay, so technically your first time joining, please make sure that you go to mybazi.info, generate your Bazi chart, and don't just do it for yourself, right? Do it for your family, your friends, your relative. Okay, so while you are doing this right now, okay, what you can be doing is please help me to like, and again, you share the post. Once you share the post, please set the post to public, then you will obtain the sharer status. This is useful because in the second part, I will pick some questions if you have related to your Bazi. If you don't mind giving me your date of birth and time, I'll put it out online, right? I'll give you some suggestion and answers from there. So I'll pick from the pool of sharer. So in order to obtain the status, you need to share the post and then you set to public, yeah? Because if you don't set it to public, you will not get a status sharer. So you'll be able to see it for a quick while, yeah? Okay, so now we have discussed what is the key structure in terms of 10 God, right? So 10 God is very, very important. So if you don't know how we are actually getting the 10 God section, it's quite relatively straightforward. When you generate any Bazi chart, now if you scroll down, you realize that there is a lot of precious information about your Bazi chart, right? Now this date of birth and time, as I was mentioned, this is like a blueprint of your entire life journey. It don't just document what you can do, right? It documents your strength, your abilities, it documents your relationship, and most importantly, it documents technically your journey in life, regardless of the past, the present, and the future. You see, knowledge to us is always a good thing to have because most people right now is treading on very thin ice. They have completely no idea what they want to execute, and the COVID-19 has thrown everyone off the curve, right? You basically lost your balance. Too many people has lost directions right now. They do not know what to do. So this is why one of the key reasons I thought that I have been teaching Bazi for a very long time, more than 10 over years. I thought this is the best time to be engaging the community. I will give you very useful knowledge about Bazi, about Feng Shui. All I ask from you is just your attention, and of course, the second thing is please be willing to take action. Right? Don't just learn an art and after that there is nothing, you don't do anything about it. So eventually you will not be getting any form of a results, right? So all I'm asking is whatever you studied, whatever knowledge you managed to accumulate for the past 7 episodes. Now today is 8 episodes, right? So please put them into implementation. You use them to read your parents' chart, your friends, your spouse, and make sure that you all can benefit from this together. So at the same time, while you are doing this, this is one of the key reasons why your sharing of this post will help, because too many people out there right now, they kind of be completely lost. So when you share the post like this, now learning from the 7 or 8 episodes that I'll be doing Facebook Live is completely free. You don't pay a single cent. Okay, so this will help a lot more people to get information because maybe some of them, they don't have access to good financial status right now. Okay, so this is one of the key reasons. If you share, we are all trying to accumulate good karma together, good merit. So help each other out, right? So your sharing may meet somebody that you'll say, hey, this is very useful information, and I want to be, getting the outcome of it, right? But you first need to know how do you decode this information. To a lot of people that is fresh out there, this information is relatively new, But BaZi has been around for a longest time, right? So I have came out with applications, I came out with algorithms, so this help you to decode them much faster. So if you don't know how we are actually getting this chart, right? So all you have to do is go to my bazi.info, plot your date of birth and time, all right? So for this episode 8 onwards, we enabled the 5-element option on the screen. This will allows you to be seeing why is this part useful. I'll be guiding you in a short while because this is in fact some of the key information we want to be studying. Of course, some of you you may be BaZi practitioner, right? So then what you can be doing is you can consider going for our full practitioner class. Those is what we have designed to get practitioner to read everything, not just from the 5-element. You're not reading just from the 10 God. Now, thank God, and 5-element is for, you're completely new. You don't know where to look up for information. So the software helps you to accumulate this information and display it to you. Now, if you are of a practitioner level, then of course we are looking at information that is coming from your branches, right? You're looking at information from all of these palaces here. This is what, in fact, we'll be looking at, right? You'll be learning how to study some of these technical mechanics. And this is how, if you want to hone your BaZi skills to the highest level, we don't hold back in anything that we are teaching, and we don't do multiple courses, like you need to do 10 courses in order to learn one subject. I don't believe in that, because technically if you really put in the time, right, I got tons of video training. It's already recorded, it's already done. We have taught more than 25,000 students over the worldwide. So people have done the program, people have benefited. So this is what you can be doing for yourself right now. Okay, let me just dive into this section for a bit. At least I get some input. So at least I'm not the only one talking right here. Your comment is very much appreciated, right? So if you just join me, please help me to like and share the post. Remember, when you share, set the post to public. You will obtain the sharer status. In part 2 Q&A, I will pick up some of the sharer to answer some of their past question, right? So if you got a sharer status, you get first priority, all right? So this is all the help that I'm trying to get from you guys. And of course, when you do sharing of the post, you're helping others people as well, because they may get information on their chart and it seems to know what is their next step. Okay, now we have discussed in the last 7 episodes, what do we mean when we talk about the 10 God, right? So today I thought I'd give you a little bit of more summary to break things down in perspective. Okay, so let's look at some of the stars you guys is getting. Let me get a bigger screen. I think this is a much bigger screen, right? Okay, so this is where you get to see all of your 10 God structure, right? So let's talk a bit about, some of you, if you want to be doing management, okay, what star is a necessity to have? That means to say that if you have any of these 10 God stars, then management role, it's one area you most likely will thrive very well, and you probably want to head towards that direction, right? Okay, of course, in the second part, I will talk a little bit about, of course, a little bit on industry. So if in case industry, you do not know how do we look at industry, you can look at the 5-element sector. This is from this box here. Okay, and in fact, there was a graph that is also being stated. This is all this access is actually for our students who have been studying BaZi with us for a long time, right? But I'm opening up the access for some of you who have never touched BaZi before. Okay, so you will plot your chart at my bazi.info. You will get access to this information only for today and these few days. So all these are open up to you guys, right? There's no subscription fee and what's not, right? So all I'm asking is just put in a little bit of time and effort. I'm pretty sure you can get it, yeah? Okay, so this part is part 2 of the BaZi decoding. I talk a bit more about the elements, right? Which I talk about industry. Maybe what sort of industry you want to be looking into. That is one of the key factors we are looking at, right? So, okay. So let me just know, some of you, if you're just tuning in right now, okay, I want to know how many of you would like to be in management role. So that means you're looking to having a team that you can manage at some point in time, or you're already in one right now. So just key in me, right? So I know how many people are really in doing management right now. You're working for a company, but you have some staff that you have to manage, right? You have some processes you have to manage. So to us, a lot of people, they don't really like the management role. Some people can take that very well. So, but I'm going to talk about what stars do you need to be having inside your chart. Then this is when, you'll be able to use this process better. And this is one of the key things that we want to be looking at. Okay, so keep all comments coming. Wow, so it seems like a lot of people is in management. Okay, so this is from Lo Ching Wei, doing management. Okay, Tan Lee Seng, management. Wow, okay, a lot of senior management here, yeah? So May is having Helen, and we have Juliet, right? We have Janice, and of course Jackson is looking for management role. So this is the part later. I'll give you more insights. So if you say you want to look for management role, what stars to be looking at? So we have Chan Kin Hao is doing management. Jesse, Anthony, right? So quite a fair bit of you guys is in management role. Okay, so that's the first stars you want to be looking at. Now, if you want to be doing management, first and foremost, a very good stars to get you in place is what I call the officer star, right? So what is the officer star? You need to be looking at this star here, right? Which is, let me just get it highlighted to you. Okay, right. Let me just put out the chart bigger, yeah? Okay, so if you have the 7 killing and the direct officer, all right, this is the first criteria, okay? Now, there is a lot of people doing management work. Now, to be able to do it well or not, you have to look at your chart. Some people do management work, but they will tell you that they hate managing people, and people is not their greatest assets. So this is something you have to be studying. So first criteria, if you want to be doing management, study your chart. How many of you, your 7 killing and your direct officers has between maybe 20 to 70%, right? So just input the percentage right now. If you have 7 killing or direct officers, so any percentage, just input in right now. But of course, if you've got 0, then this is not the stars you want to be focusing on. Because as of what I'm discussing right now, is I prefer that you guys focus on the gift that you're being born in your destiny chart since the first day. Okay, so understanding this is technically very, very important. So just give me your comments, yeah? So just let your comments continue to come. Okay, so I'll be looking at your comments. So some of you got 25%. So, okay, so Rina got 100% 7K, right? So technically, she can't get out from management role, like it or not, okay? So of course, doing it well or not, that's some other stars we look at. So Yixing is having 10% on 7 killing, and DO, which is direct officer, for 70%, okay? And we have Joshua, right? And we have Chingwei, it's 7K is 20%, direct officers 5%, okay? Not too bad, right? Terrence Ng, 30%, right? So assume you're talking about your officer star, yeah? So Isabel is having 75%, and Tang is having 93. Wow, that's a very high percentage. Okay, so that's one of the key factor here. So seems like quite a fair bit of you have this officer star. Some of you will not have it, so that's okay. I'm teaching you to focus on the star that you have some percentage. Now, even if you have 5%, it's relatively low percentage, but you are already born with that gift. You just need to create more awareness, okay, more practices to awaken that gift if you want to use that role. Not everyone wants to be in management. Some people, they are happy working in a normal job, right? They say that as long someone give me instructions, I perform these instructions, I'm happy with that, right? I'm happy with an 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job. Now, there's no really right or wrong answers to this. Ultimately, I always say the idea of Bazi Chart is not just for someone who wants to gain the highest level of financial success. You must know that Bazi Chart, when we are talking about one thing, is it able to get you fulfillment? Okay, so think about this. Some people, it's all about perspective. Some people get very miserable because they own people $10,000, right? And they could not sleep at night. There are people out there who are owning people maybe 10 million, 100 million, right, in debts, and then their lifestyle is completely fine, right? So to me, it's all about perspective. But at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, right, whatever you're doing right now, do you get fulfillment? Do you think you're on the right track? Because this is, to me, is very important. There's really no point in doing something you are hating all this while. But again, I do not follow the saying that do whatever you want to do by following your passion, because sometimes passion these days don't pay. Okay, so you need to figure out what you can do first and go after the trend. What does the trend wants now? Okay, so right now, a few things. Okay, while we are talking about this, thank God, right? I just thought I'd give you guys a little bit more updates. Now, currently on the May 11th, okay? So if you're not sure about astrology, I talk a little bit about Western astrology, right? So Vedic Western astrology, you talk about planets, right? The planet of Saturn, okay? In fact, right now, Saturn is in Capricorn, which means Saturn is in own house. What this means is Saturn is one of the oldest planets. It disciplines people, okay? It keeps people on track, and it isolates people, right? That's the nature of Saturn. Now, when Saturn is in its own house, what this actually means is this, okay? In fact, if you ask me the episodes of the COVID-19 spread, right, and people is not able to get up from their house, people have to isolate themselves, people have to discipline themselves. It's all because of this planet right now, the stars in the planet, right? So if you look at this planet right now on the May 11th, it's going to go retrograde. Now, if you don't understand the term retrograde, it's completely fine. You can just go and Google about it. Retrograde means that it kind of stopped moving in its own world, okay? I mean, that time catch up faster than its current position. So when it's going to go retrograde, what this means, it's after May 11. Now, it's going to go retrograde for 4.5 months. So it will go all the way up to end of September, okay? So that's plus minus the timeline. Now, when this is going to go retrograde, what this means is the isolation problem that we have right now, because everyone is forced to stay at home, may somewhat go away for a while. So that is also in line when I talk about, a lot of you is asking me, what is the updates about COVID-19 and what's not. My take is always that if you look at, May onwards, in fact, May 11 onwards, plus minus, it seems like, okay, most governments, all right, I'm not saying that the virus will be gone, eradicated completely, but maybe most government will likely have, they'll relax a bit of their restriction because they think that they have some form of a containment, right? Whether their containment effort is working in place. Now, what this does is, okay, technically when it happens, right, what the officers of the planet itself, is it will actually loosen up, let people going back to work again, and you get lesser restriction. So this to me is very, very important, right? So because some of you will be looking, when can you get back to work and what's not. So of course, if you are looking at technically timeline, I think sometime after June onwards, July, more of this measure will be relaxing away, and you have more cases under control. Okay, so I think that's give you a bit of timeline. But please don't take this time and just stay at home and do nothing or just relax, because I thought that this is the best time. In fact, if you understand right now, okay, this is the best time for you to skill up, for you to get ready. So when the economy opens up, you are already all done. You don't only start when the economy opens up, because that might be too late, right? Too many people has already gone ahead of you. Okay, so that's one of the key reasons why we are doing this BaZi live decoding session. Yeah. So when we talk about management, okay, so the second stars that we want to be looking at, if you want to talk about perfect management, it's if you think that you can manage people and you also want the support of people, this is what you can do. Okay, you can be looking at this part here. All right. So this is resource star, right? So how many of you got a resource star, direct or indirect resource? Show me your percentage in your comment section. So at least I get to know how many of you is having this sort of stars, right? Okay. So look at the stars. Okay. Look at your indirect resource and your direct resource. Let me know your percentage. All right. So because if you understand this mechanics of it, I will let you know that what are the stars combination that we will have in order to look at, some of the better jobs role that you probably wants to be looking at, or direction. Okay. So Jason has like 70%. Okay. So Joshua has 60%, right? Wow. So PY Liu has 100%. Okay, that's very high for indirect resource. And Flo has 30%, Y has 90, May has 10. Okay, even 10% is good enough. Okay. So here it's what, of course, we discussed. Of course, this is at your general level. We talk about BaZi for you to understand at your level right now. Some of you, when you got into the practitioner level, you realize there's even more mechanism. We can pull out a lot more information. All this will be decoded out to you. But at your level right now, at least when you look at a BaZi chart, you say, hey, at least I understand right now. You see, this thank God what tells me what sort of characteristics, strengths, what sort of role I should pursue in my life. And I thought that will give you a very, very good direction. Now, okay, direct resource stars or indirect resource stars, what is the component of these stars? You see, if you want to do management, the power of officer stars means that you can take stress, right? You are structured people. You know how to, do things, have a system in place, and you will follow the rules and regulations. So officer stars keep you in check. That's a good thing for management role. But here's the thing. Now, there will be some people who's having officer stars. They manage a huge team of people, but they collapse under a lot of stress, right? Or they will have a lot of problems from the staff, that they is going to report to them, right? So in order to have, a better quality in terms of management job, you want to have both officer star as well as resource star. Okay, so this is technically very important. So you look at officer stars and resource stars. So if you got both officers and resource, okay, then this will tells you that, you know, being in management is suitable for you in the long run, right? Because people is lending strength as willing to support you, not just you managing them, giving them instructions, giving them guidelines. They are willing to, you know, take heed of advice. There are some people, you know, they manage people, but you may see that there's certain episodes where the staff will curse their bosses or superior all the time. So why is it like that? It's partly because they may have officer stars, but they don't have, you know, supporting stars. In this case, your resource stars are very good support stars, right? So check your chart right now. If you don't know where we are getting this chart, you can go to my bazi.info, yeah? So in case you are following with me on this live right now, please note that if you can, do help me to like and share the post. And when you share, please set the post to public. Now, why do I emphasize on that? When you set the post to public, this training will help out someone who may in need of it. And all this training is going to reach out to a lot more people, right? In fact, all this training that I'm spending time on Facebook community is because I know we got a huge community and I'm not charging anything for the Facebook live session. In fact, most of this stuff is exactly what I start to teach for our masterclass students, right? So some of you, because you put in the time, right? So what I want to do is I'm giving back a bit of this to the community, since right now a lot of people is looking for answers. You are looking for answers. Most possibly your friends, your colleagues are looking for answers. So help to share, set the post to public, you obtain a sharer status. Now in part 2, right, I will do parts of Q&A. You can give me your date of birth and time. You can input there. You can ask a question. Now, when you set the post to public, you obtain the status sharer. I will help to give priority to those people who are sharer. So example, if you don't know what's a sharer look like, so I'll just put one up. So as you can see, Joanne Tan has obtained status of a sharer. Okay, so this is what you will see on the Facebook comment. Once you are a sharer, you look at on the top of Joanne's name, there is a term sharer. So if you've not gotten this, please help to do out on this part, yeah? Okay, so this is the key when we look at some of the job roles if you want to be in management. Now, how many of you thinks that you want to start your own business, okay? You need to just give me some comments and let me know your thoughts, right? Just key inside the comment, me. If you're thinking of starting a business, I thought I'd give you a bit more insights from that. I mean, after all, I've been in business since 1997, long time, right? So I thought I can share some of my humble experience and you see if all of this allows you to help you to advise, right? So Annie is saying that, you know, she wants to be starting a business. So Annie is saying me, and Thomas is want to start a business, right? So Rika also want to start a business, right? Okay. So quite a fair bit of people is looking into businesses. Yeah? So you see, there's really no right or wrong. If you're working for other people right now, you're happy with your job, that's good news, right? You don't always need to start a business. But some people out there, you know, they may be certain things that they want to be doing, right? So May still wants to be starting a business. Okay. So why am I saying this is when you want to start a business, you look at a few stars. Okay. So first and foremost, before I go into the stars, let me share a bit of guidelines. Now you need to understand this. Generally, most people who start a business, if you look at the SMEs, incorporation of companies in Singapore, right? If you look at the statistics, plus minus, most people who start a business, okay, usually businesses that can get on to 5 or 10 years is around 15 to 20%. Okay, it can be even lesser than that. So why am I trying to tell you first is I'm not here to discourage you, don't misunderstand, because I want to align you to the mindset that you should have before you think you want to start a business. Okay, then the second part is we look into your Bazi chart. In your destiny chart, should you even be starting a business in the first place? Okay, so this is very important. Yeah. So you see, when you want to start a business, technically you need to understand, you know, you need to ask yourself this question. Do you have enough income to start a business? Because every businesses in the early stage, there will be some time that you will have zero income. Okay, because you're going to build something that is people is going to know you from scratch. People don't know what you're going to sell. So you need some time to build up your brand, your status, your product. You need to give some time for your marketing to work. So you need to make sure that you, number one, have the kind of cash flow that you can put aside for this business to work. That's number one. Second, okay, most business owner at the early stage, you have to wear multiple hats. You could be an accountant, you could be doing the website yourself, or you can even outsource to somebody else, but you have to kind of oversee. I don't really agree the type that, when you want to start a business, everything you outsource. I strictly don't believe in that, because if you don't know the business you're going to outsource to, example, you outsource your marketing, let me just get a marketing company, right, to help me to do this. But the problem is this, right? If you don't know what the marketing company is doing, what makes you think that you can control them or tell them what you want, right? Because you may not even able to keep them on track. So that's one of the key things. So most of the businesses, I always say is, if you're willing to do that business, you want to start it, you must put on multiple hats first. You must know a little bit of marketing. What do you need to get your word out there? Do you need to get on Facebook? Do you need to speak on Instagram? Do you need to, get some people to advertise if you're selling food, maybe on Grab, what's not. You need to know some of the processes, if not all, right? So that is the second question you need to ask yourself. How much of this time you're willing to invest to go into that field, right? So because once you can figure out these few steps, I assure you, right, you will do very well. You already get a very good head start. Because most people, when they say they want to start a business, it can be sometimes, just through a conversation, you got that passion, I have that passion, let's do this together, and this is it. That could be just too far away from the truth of most business owners. Because I'm looking at businesses that you can start and going to remain in the market for a long time, right? So that's important. Now, of course, step 3 is you need to, again, be asking yourself, given a certain time, right? Once you get that business up and running, what will you do with the profitability? That is very important. Most people, when they get a little bit of success with their business, they spend the money on themselves, they buy big cars, they buy nice houses. My key question is, you must always tell yourself that how much of that money should be back to reinvesting in that business again. Okay, because after all, if you don't go through this cycle, your business will be stagnant at a certain point. It doesn't grow anymore. So that's the only 3 questions that you need to ask yourself if you want to be starting that business, right? Okay, so that's why up to a certain stage, once you already got example, your marketing is running and quite a fair bit of things is running. Yes, I agree. Then the next thing is you need to get a team. Okay, then this is where people can come in to help you take a lot of your processes. You don't do the daily routine job anymore. You focus on what does the conversion, right? So if conversion is you need to be doing 100 phone calls, whether it's cold call or whatever, then most of your time should be spending on getting the sales in, right? Sales and marketing is the life of every businesses. Now, of course, I'm not here to demean that, the back end process is not important. They're equally important, because you need to make sure that whatever you're doing, it's going to service customer for a very long time. You don't want to do a one-time business. You don't want to shortchange your customers. You always want to overvalue add your customers, because this is where nobody will drop, someone that is running business and overvalue add and says, I'm going to change to another business. Nobody will do that, right? So that's a few questions. I thought that I share a little bit of entrepreneur, a startup, when you say you want to start a business, because I've done so many consultations with big business owners, small business owners, some people who are yet to start a business. So I thought getting you in line will be good in that aspect. Now, let's get down to the puzzle part of it. Now, if you say that you want to be looking at business, what stars you want to look at? Now, there's a few interesting stars. This is a combination of few stars, okay? So first and foremost, I always thought that if you got the stars, right, the indirect wealth stars. So how many of you got indirect wealth stars? Please input inside the comment right now, your percentage. Let me have a look at the percentage. This is, to me, people who's always thinking outside the box, okay? The power of the indirect wealth stars are people who are looking at solving the problem using the fastest way. But of course, with every stars we're talking about here, that is both the good and negative aspects of it. The good aspects of it is, of course, indirect wealth stars help you guys, technically to think out of the box. You are not happy with just probably a 9 to 5 work, okay? You are not happy with just maybe a job. Maybe you have a job and at the same time, you want to do some form of a sideline. And then at the same time, you probably also get into partnership with another people and you run some side businesses. So you see, the indirect people are very amazing people, yeah? They always have this sort of ideas at the back of their mind, which I thought this is excellent profile for a business entrepreneur or owner, right? So we have Chan, 25% on the indirect wealth star. So Anna have 25%, Jason, 10%, right? So Evelyn has 100%. Wow, no joke. Okay, that's very high, all right? So I assume that you probably has already in running some form of business right now, okay? Because usually people who's at this sort of high percentage, they are already, They just cannot stand a normal working life, right? Nothing wrong with that, yeah? I'm not saying that you are working for other people, there's something wrong. Nothing wrong with that, right? Some people do very well in the corporate ladder. You must understand that. Some people can climb the corporate ladder. That we will discuss in the next row, okay? So while we are on this, okay, indirect wealth stars, right, is the first component, okay, of you if you want to run a business. Now, the second stars, I always thought that business owners can do pretty well, right? It's these stars. It's you needs to be having. In fact, this is one of the powerful stars. Hurting officers. So you got me right, yeah. So some of you guess hurting officers. So you can look at your chart, right? So make sure that what is your hurting officers percentage? Please help me to input right now, so at least I know some of the feedback. What is a hurting officers percentage? Okay. Now, if you have, example, you don't have hurting officers, but you have eating God, all right? You can still execute, not a problem. Okay. The only thing of execution that are differences is hurting officers people is more the very conventional way. They are pure marketers. They are good in branding. They like to push their brand out fast and they like to do things fast. They don't wait. Now, the eating God people have a lot of things and concept and ideas on their mind. So sometimes that may slow them down a little bit in terms of execution because they are more of a perfectionist. They are more of a, I want to get the best idea out there. If not, I will not do it. Okay. Where hurting officers is no. If I need to get this product out there, it doesn't matter my product is not done. Get it out first. Okay. The hurting officers has this sort of abilities, right? So that is one of the key reasons. If you've got hurting officers, you have indirect wealth. Now in Chinese, we call that 时商生财. Okay, so that means output stars produce officer stars. Okay, so if you look at this sort of training, it's when you go deeper into BaZi, you realize there's a lot of structures you can be learning, right? We call it 官印相生. That means the officer star produce resource star. This is technically a combination that is good for management role, right? So if you have hurting officers in your direct wealth, these are excellent stars to be pursuing businesses. Now, some of you will tell me that, you know what, I have hurting officers, but I have, the indirect wealth stars is technically 0. Then what happens? Fret not, because in your Bazi chart, right, what actually happens is you still got the luck pillar. Now, if you don't know what is the luck pillar, it's very important, okay? So if you look at your Bazi chart itself, right, the luck pillar contributes a very important part. If you go down to, example, if you go down to this part that says the luck pillar, look at this box here, right? If you look at every luck pillar, is a column of 10 years. So every 10 years, you will go through different luck pillar. You will also kind of realize that, there is some icon in place, okay? So if you look at it, there's some icon in place. So if let me see if I blow this up a fair bit, yeah? Okay, let me just blow it. Okay, so this is bigger. Now, if you look at, let's say, this person at age 32, right? So technically at age 32, this person is now going through indirect wealth star, but her natal chart may be 0%. So what happens? It means that in these 10 years, suddenly, right, the idea has arrived, okay? The idea is, I've been working for the last 10 years, okay? At 32, you probably don't work very long, assuming you start work at 22 or 23, right, after uni. So you work plus minus 10 years, but at this age, when you got indirect wealth stars activated, all right, so this is what happens. This 10 years, you will likely go into businesses, or you will likely, if you're not doing businesses, you might be doing some form of investment. You're looking at many sources of income, all right? Now, indirect wealth stars, some people like to call it, lazy money. Well, technically, it means that, you don't spend X amount of time to exchange that dollar, right? It's kind of different from the direct wealth stars. The direct wealth stars people are very down-to-earth people, right? They believe that, if today this is my job, then I need to report to work on time. I get what I need to do on my work and get it done and just go home. At the end of the day, I will not expect too much. There's salary, there's 30-month bonuses, there's commission, I'm happy, right? But the indirect stars people don't stop at that. They will look at, this salary is not enough. I probably want something else. I want to go on a world tour. So I need a bit more money, example, yeah? So this is why if you look at luck cycle, can make out what you have in terms of shortfall, right? So of course, these are some of the key things that we taught deeper in our BaZi Jumpstart. Of course, BaZi Jumpstart will get you started at your BaZi learning journey. So if you have zero BaZi knowledge, you can get on to BaZi Jumpstart. Now, once you completed your BaZi Jumpstart, the next level you can go is full fetch, right? I don't hold back anymore. The next level, once you have completed your BaZi Jumpstart, is to get on our Bazi Masterclass. This is where I uncover everything you're supposed to know inside a Bazi chart. I will expect you to, I'll give you access to full training series. You have access to all of them, right? So in fact, the Bazi Jumpstart right now, if you have not gotten, we have more than 2,800 people has already got their access. So we give it at a huge discount of 80%. Supposedly the discount offer it's already ended, right? But because we still got a lot of people who came in and asked, I was late, I didn't manage to get on board on time. Do you mind to extend the 80% discount to me? And I discussed with my team. I said, okay, this is what I will do. This is the final extension. I'll not extend this anymore because there will be people who take action. There will be people who will forever sit on whatever they want to do. So I'm here to help people who wants to take action. So technically, if we extended to 17 May, it doesn't go any further than that. It gets back to the standard price. So if you have not gotten on, feel free to get on to that. It will get you understand your full-time God in terms of what are the key roles you should be playing in life to understand yourself. Too many of us, we don't understand ourselves because if you don't do that, I always say this, your date of birth and time is the only form of numeric characters to you that serve a meaning. But if you don't even want to find out, my question to you is, who in this world is interested to find out for you? Most likely the answer is nobody cares, right? I mean, this is unfortunately how the world is working, yeah? So right now, what you'll be doing right now is in the last 8 episodes, I appreciate your time with me online. All you, we have like 229 plus minus, okay? That is live right now. You are taking action, pure action, okay? In fact, I know some people could be resting at home, could be spending their time doing other things, but you right now, you are taking action. So this is perfectly good. I assure you that, don't waste, you will not waste your time here for nothing. Not just these episodes. Later on, I'll give you access to all my past 7 episodes plus today, plus the PDF guide file. You'll get access to everything. All I ask is just stay to the end of the training, which is probably going to end around maybe about, I try to do it about maybe 9 to 9:05, 10 to 10:05. So that's about it, right? So I'll keep it to an hour because there's some Q&As coming and I'll keep it to that. I hope that this will value add you big time. And then all I'm asking is if you find this is valuable, help someone along the way when you find that someone is in need of your help. That's all, okay? Because to me, energy goes around, comes around, okay? So every effort you are helping, it doesn't matter. I see there's a lot of people doing donation drive. There's a lot of people who's helping, aunties, uncles who are out of jobs. All these little efforts helps each other because during this tough time, your effort will go a long way. And one day you will not realize why somebody, in your most desirable moment, you realize that why this person come and help me. That's because, X amount of time ago, you helped someone else. So let this good energy travel on. And of course, while you are with me on this, help me to like and share the post. When you share, set the post to public, yeah? Then you will obtain the share status because in part 2, which is about to come out, I'm going to take some questions from sharer. So if you can give me your date of birth and time, your questions, I will take some of the questions. I try my best to answer a couple of them. I may not have time to answer everyone, but I try my best. And of course, as long as you're still tuning in to our live, I assure you every session you learn something new. So this is how I've been teaching more than 25,000 students worldwide of our system that we have in place. So software is there available for you, and all these generation algorithms out there, it helps you to figure out things very fast. Okay, a few other key factor is, okay, so now we have discussed technically, just now there is 2 categories. So the first category we were looking at is there are people who wants to, start a business, okay? And then there are people who wants to be in management, all right? Then what about, people who's just looking to climb the corporate ladder? What should they be looking at, okay? So technically, if you're just looking to climb the corporate ladder, what you can be doing is this, yeah? If you just want to climb the corporate ladder, look for these stars, okay? This is technically the direct wealth stars. This is the first one, okay? How many of you got percentage in the direct wealth stars? Chinese, we call 正财, yeah? So direct wealth stars. So let me know inside your percentage, okay? So key in inside the comments, at least I can put it out on the screens and then we can have this like interactive session, okay? So Molly has signed up for the Bazi Chart. Okay, good for you. Thank you for coming on board. I will ensure you that a lot of the training that you receive, you will be seeing big changes. It will transform from that, yeah? Okay, so and we have, of course, Weena. Okay, Weena, later I can answer your questions. All I need from you is later you will post your date of birth and time and your question. Okay, so I'll take your questions because Rina is a sharer, so I try to take her questions from here. Yeah? Okay, so all I'm asking is just help me to key in your date of birth and time and your question. Okay, so while I finish the third part, which is direct wealth stars. Okay, last but not least, before I end later on, maybe about 10 plus, right? I give you Feng Shui tips that you can implement, right? Feng Shui is talking about some energy exchange. Next episode onwards, I go into more details, okay? So if you like Feng Shui, just help me to key Feng Shui in the comment. So at least I know you are looking for Feng Shui subjects, or if you like Bazi, key Bazi. So let me know what subjects you're looking at. Bazi, Feng Shui. Now, I'll also be teaching in upcoming episodes. We'll be talking more on the art of Qimen. So Qimen Dunjia is a very powerful and sophisticated art. You'll be able to look at a lot of things, okay, just from Qimen chart itself, okay. So I thought that these are some of the things we can implement in terms of strategy, okay. So Qimen is talking about what we have in the doors, and then you have a lot more mechanics you can study. Some people will find it's advanced stuff, but you will realize it's not actually that advanced as long as broken down to you point by point format, right? So I think you'll find that very easily. Okay, so let me know. Okay, right now, okay, I see some of you saying Feng Shui, some of you saying Bazi, yeah? So, okay, I think next episode I start to give a bit more in terms of Feng Shui training, right? So, right, okay. In fact, for the corporate ladder, few other people that they'll do well in the corporate ladder, okay? Usually, right, if you want to talk about, okay, you are doing management and then you want to be in corporate ladder, right? You need three things. Technically, you can look at direct wealth. Of course, you need officer stars, because if you are in management, you need to manage people. And this allows you to follow red tape structure system very well, okay? And of course, people who tend to do the best of the best, climbing, to very high positions in life, then you want to be looking at the resource stars, okay? So of course, some of you is looking at partnership. I know some of you is looking at partnership. I get some partnership questions. I'll probably answer the partnership questions in the next round, but it's not too difficult to find. It's just within one of the 10 stars, right? So, okay, let me proceed on with taking some questions from your Bazi session, right? So, Rina, can you help me to key in your date of birth and time and your questions? So, actually, I can put it out on the screen, and then maybe we can learn something. If you don't mind, yeah, because technically, every session I'm doing here is a sharing session. So if you can learn something to know how to decode your Bazi, when you learn this art, you're not doing it just for yourself, okay? But of course, you must first take care of yourself, yeah? You don't read for other people if you don't know anything about yourself. Take good care of yourself first, decode everything you need to know about yourself. Ultimately, my goal is to help you to make well-informed decisions. So every right decisions that you make, your quality of life improve. I want to help you to not make those bad decisions that you can get into the cracks. Once you're falling into the cracks, you will move 2 to 3 years back, right? So this is what we want to avoid. That's the whole idea of studying Bazi. Now, if you don't know why is this even important, technically it's quite straightforward, yeah? What we are studying is this, okay? The heaven, right? So your Bazi chart technically, it's talking about what you have in life, right? So it's almost like a blueprint of whatever you have, like your treasure map, okay? So some people, they can find the treasure very easily. There are some people, who go to Holland and what's not and spend a lot of time wasted, right? So some people goes to do bad partnership, right? Lost money, got scam and what's not, right? So the whole idea is once you know your blueprint, everything is clear. You will know when to make the decisions at the right time. The third part is actually talking about action. Action, of course, in Chinese astrology, it's coming from date selection, okay? So what we are doing here is this. I'm taking care of two-thirds for you. First, we're talking about 1/3, which is your Bazi. As you realize, I don't do this just solely in the Bazi session. I give you advice on best businesses practice. I give you some good thought process so you can, join me as a thought process leader so you can formulate new ideas. What is the best processes out there? All this that we're doing here, I'm shaping out your mind, right? Your mindset is 1/3 because technically, you can control 1/3 of your destiny, right? So the 1/3 of influence will come from you, but that requires you to set intention, okay? You need to know what you want. Some people aimlessly go through their entire life, okay? The whole life, they don't know what they want, they don't know what they want to do, and then they are in and out of jobs, they're drifting here and there. I don't believe life should be spent like that. We all ultimately only live once, right? So of course, intention is one thing. Some people have intention, they think and think and think, they go into overthink mode, right? Which is overthinking will prevents you from taking action. So this is important. Okay, so all the planning is to set you for the biggest day. The biggest day will never come if you don't take your first step. So this is ultimately what I'm trying to say. Now, that's why in the third part, the last part, I'll give you a little bit of Feng Shui training. This is talking about earth energy. So if you got the time, I assure you it's not going to be wasted, right? Okay, so let me just put in the part on, okay. Let me come down to the topic on, okay, just now we were saying you want to climb the corporate ladder, right? Of course, like again, if you want to have resource tasks and everything, this will be all good. So, Weena Tan, let me find your question. I assume you have already keyed in your date of birth and time. Okay, so Weena, if you can help me, because the comments scroll up very fast. Okay, when you help to share, you obtain the status as a sharer. You need to set your post to public, then you'll get it. If you just share alone, you will not get it. You need to set your post to public, okay? So, Weena Tan, do you mind to help me to post your date of birth and time so I can pick questions to help you to answer? Your date of birth and time and your question, right? So when you do that, I will help you to get some clarity based on your Bazi chart, right? So, and of course, we have Joshua. So maybe what I'll do is I'll take the question from Joshua first. Then I will answer the questions for Weena. Okay. Okay, I think I saw Weena question. Okay, let me just do this. A quick one from Weena. This is from 19 January. Okay, it's not difficult. So let me just show you live how are we plotting a chart. You see, plotting a chart is very easy. Now that I have it that it's 19 January. Okay, so this is what I'll be doing. I will plot 19, and then this is January, and then this is 1986. Okay, so that should be an ox because it's before Feb. And of course, time is horse hour. Yeah, this is 12, right? Plus minus. Okay, female. Now, okay. So Weena is asking about. I will not put out a date of birth and time. Is here. The next question, I'll put out a question. Yeah. So for Weena Tan, current job got opportunities, or should I change job and family planning? So I think there's two questions, right? Okay, let me just take your question first. Okay. So this is how. If you look at a Bazi chart, this is how her chart looks like. Okay, so let me put it up to you. Okay, so this is how her chart looks like. Okay, so if you look at this chart here, you will see there's a few mechanics. Now, if you don't know how to look at reading the chart, you can look at the percentage area. Let's do this together so it can be quite fun. Yeah, so if you look at the percentage area, I'll put this up. All right, so let's see. Okay, I suppose this is big enough. Okay. Okay, so let's look at some of the percentage area. First and foremost, right, that is 7 killing, right? So if you look at this task here, that's 7 killing. That is also a good percentage on direct officer, right? So what does this tells you about Weena's job? Number one, you can't get out from stress, okay? Because officer stars technically will put some stress to you. It means to say that your ability to work with stress and pressure is quite well managed, right? So that's one part of it. So it also means that, you know, your job, regardless of what job you're going to change, you probably got to deal with this sort of pressure. Like example, management level, they will have to manage a lot of people. They have to take a lot of instructions, and they have to make sure that the company is going ahead, right? So other things that you can be looking at is, of course, if you look at her friend star, now technically friend star is 10%. Okay, her Rockwell is 20%. So Weena, your Rockwell is at a pretty good percentage as well. Okay, when I look at this, and you have, of course, indirect well stars, a fair bit of that. Now, of course, I'll go back to your main chart to answer your questions. Now, your current job, do you have opportunity or not? Of course, you didn't mention what you're doing right now, but here's the thing, yeah. This month, you probably will felt, you know, okay, why the reason of that is if you look at her chart, right? Some of you, if you study a little bit of Bazi, you realize this month is month of the snake month, okay? So when you get onto the masterclass, you will get access to all these somewhat, you know, clashes, combination. I teach you how to get the insight and answers. Most important is you want to know the answers, right? So you see, when you first look at the month here, right? This year is, of course, also is a snake year. It comes in, it actually forms a clash here. This is, of course, if you don't know what this palace stands for, it stands for the spouse palace as well, okay? So technically, there's a few other things that if you want to be looking at, I'll talk about them a little bit more. Your current job opportunity right now, if you look at current status, it's not the best time to be changing job. let me give you general reason first. Very simple. Now we are at COVID-19. Okay, most businesses, if not all, are looking to trim costs. Right, they are looking to cut costs. They are looking to sustain some form of damage first, and then trying to replan how to re-enter the economy again. So I think in this short period of time, even though if you get to have a job right now, I think stick with that job. This is very important because even if you got off this job, I would like to think most company may not be hiring at this point of time. So I don't want you to be in a position whereby you quit this job looking for better opportunities and then you're not getting it, right? So of course the good news is, okay, technically I look at this year and next year, but I look at next year because this year itself, half the year pretty much is gone. We have about 7 months left. COVID-19 still need a bit of time for adjustment. Assuming, after June, the economy opens out, stay-at-home order has been lifted. What happened is the economic cycle, business that has been stopping, needs some time to catch up, okay? So for the last third and fourth quarter, business are all catching up. So I don't think HR is opening at this point in time. So that will answer your key questions. But the good thing is next year, all right? Next year itself, okay? Next year is a matter year, okay? So if you look at sin matter year to you, next year is a better year ahead. If you look at it, there is better opportunity you want to be looking at, right? So of course, if you look at sin matter year, some of you don't even know when the sin matter year is going to come in. It's quite easy, yeah. So what you do here is you can actually go down. I'll show you how it can be done. If you look at, okay, you see our Bazi calculator is designed in a way whereby you can go down to the year, the month, the day, and the hour. I show you how powerful this is. Okay, you can click. She is currently at this pillar right now, which is this 25 pillar. Okay, in fact, this is her last luck cycle. You see when you click on a pillar like this, your luck pillar, immediately you will get access to 10 years. The 10 years will all come up. You look at it, yeah. So let me just put this up. You look at this whole 10 years will come up, right? So and then if you look at 2020, all right, if you click any of the pillar, you realize the whole 12 month is up, right? And if current right now we're in May, okay, May technically it's not too bad a month for you. It's just a month you have to take care of a spouse communication, right? So when she access May, if you click on May itself, right, you will realize the 30 days of May is up. That's how powerful our Bazi system is, yeah, okay? And it goes all the way down to hours, okay? If you want to access any day, you click any of the day, right, you will see that the hour pillar, the 24 hours is out, right? So that's why we look at, this is, of course, this part we're using here is called taking advantage of date selection. You use the right date to do the right activities, then you will get the right outcome. So it's very straightforward and simple with that, yeah? So to answer your second question on family planning, I assume you're looking for a kid. My take here is you can do some family planning if you want, because technically 2021 very better energy for you, right? So in terms of family planning, of course, I'm only looking this from your chart. By right, if you want to be looking to be having a child, this and what's not, you look at both the husband and the wife chart. You look at both alignment. You can see when roughly a very good chance for you to be conceived. Okay, but based on your chart, it's quite a good time to start. You can plan technically on the fourth quarter this year. Next year, very good chance for you to be conceiving if you're looking at babies and starting a family. Yeah. So this is what I can give you the insights, right? So you see, this is why one of the key reasons that we are doing this part of the training, because it helps some of you are practicing Bazi, right? It helps you to get a bit of the methodology, how we are doing this. You realize studying Bazi is not difficult. You just need to get started, okay? So a lot of people overthink a lot of things. So what we are doing here is we simplify things. One thing is simplified and you'll be able to get it, right? So if you don't know how to get the Bazi chart, this is what you can go about doing. It goes to mybazi.info, yeah? So it goes to, just look at my screen, mybazi.info, all right? So technically right now, if you look at mybazi.info, you can go in and plot your date of birth and time. Now, Weena, because I have done an analysis of your Bazi reading, all I ask is one favor. Please, at your form of comfort, whenever, when MCO is open, the circuit breaker is opening up, I don't know where you're from, maybe Malaysia, maybe Singapore, help me to do a donation out, right? It doesn't matter what is the amount, a small donation out to a charity of your choice. Okay, why we are doing here is because every time, you know, you have to do a BaZi consultation, there's supposed to be an exchange of energy. Ancient times, people will tell you have to give an ang pao or red packet. This is required, right? We are not allowed to just anyhow give a free BaZi reading for no reason, right? So we have to take it that when you do a donation out, right, in a charity of your choice, at least, you know, you are the one asking for the exchange of energy. This will protect you. So this is very important. So some of you, if you are, you do get your question answered, right? So then you want to be technically looking at some of the key mechanics. Right now, it's what we have done is we studied Thank God. Thank God is allow you to understand what are some of the roles you should do in life. Okay. And of course, you can also be looking at industry. I think industry-wise, I probably have to do it in the next episode since I still want to cover, right? Let me just take one more quick question. Then I will talk a little bit about your Feng Shui setup. And I think we are done, at least for this training, what I want to achieve for you guys. I'm just trying to value stack for you. So just keep your questions coming. I'll pick the one that have a sharer status. You have not shared, help me to share the post and set the post to public. You obtain the sharer status. So example, so Rina, okay, thank you. You're most welcome. Yeah. So thank you for, you know, coming on to the live and at least take action to learn something for yourself. This is what we are doing this. Yeah. Okay. So right. So Rika was saying that okay, Rika, can you were asking about, I think, your mom's health and what's not, right? So do you mind to give your mom's date of birth and time key inside the comment, so actually I can put it out and do some analysis for you. Okay. So if not, at least if you know the year that she's born, that will be helpful as well. Okay. So at least try to get me your date of birth and time. You put it out in the comment, I can plot this out, right? Okay, so Rina Mums. Okay, Rina is asking a question. So Rina is a sharer. So if you can tries to obtain your sharer status, yeah. So that is on the 28th of May. Okay, so what we do is we will plot this. 28th of May, 1941. Okay, so I guess your question is all related to her health, right? So is this year okay or not? I assume you don't have the time, so no worries. We can still get a 75%, right, of it. If I can't see this, I'll plot out the Siemens chart to have a good read on it, right? Okay, so that's a few things that we are looking at here. See, once I plot out the chart itself that you can see, okay. So what we'll be seeing here is this. Okay. Now, a lot of people were saying that this mom may not be, I mean, this year is not a good year for your mom and what's not. Let me give you the answers to that, okay? Because it's very simple. Now, 2019, if you look at 2019, all right, it is the year of the Earth snake, is Zihai year. So if you look at snake, technically, if you know, I don't know who is the one that's giving your mom a reading, but I think most people, if you study a little bit of BaZi, you will see that, you know, the sign of snake, you know, these are all, of course, combination clashes. Those you have already finished your BaZi Jumpstart, you'll be given an email, right, where you can get access to the masterclass soon, right? You'll get it within these 3 days, okay? So that will get you access to the masterclass. You will get it at a very, very discounted level, because this is only for people who took part in the BaZi Jumpstart. Because once you get in at the discount program, we give you, you know, strong bonuses, multiple bonuses all the way, just because you took action. Okay, so for snake, if you look at, see, last year was this snake energy. Although this year we already entered 2020. Now the technically the energy ends, right? The clashes comes in this month. So this month, if you look at it, it clashes, right? Okay, when I talk about snake, this is actually pig. Okay, when I talk about snake, it clashes with the snake. Okay, I don't talk about that. The high is a snake. Yeah. So if you don't know what is high, I'm talking about. Look at technically this box here. You see, this box is a sign of a pig, right? But technically last year, this comes in, it will start to give a little bit of impact on her health, right? So this is one of the key reasons why I said that snake and pig will form a clash, right? And it actually clashes these two palaces. Now, if you don't know what these two palaces stands for, I've again prepared this in the form of the guide, the PDF file. You'll get it at the end of it. I'll give instructions how to get the PDF file, right? I help to give you the description. What does the hour, the day, the month, and the year, what does it stands for, right? I'll give you all of this, plus, of course, the Feng Shui setup, All this is done up for you guys. Okay, so my question here is, if I be looking at, okay, Sing, so currently it's Sing year. Right. Okay. You probably will want to monitor her for this month, right? Because this month technically will be more crucial for her. Just make sure that this month she is well taken care of, right? I think of course now going out and what's not is best not to have her to go out if possible, because for this type of Bazi chart right now, what will happen is she will be easily prone to some of the illnesses and diseases. So you don't want to get her exposed, because when you get your month palaces, there's already a clash, and then the year already a clash. These are some of the signs, right? Plus this year, right? Because it's a red year. See, the red year also comes in here, and it also clashes the horse, right? So now, what are the signs we are looking at? Is quite straightforward. When you study Bazi chart and 5 element, you see, you look at a few things. You do see there is an element of fire. You see there is 3 fire inside the chart. There is 1 water. You see, what does fire water do? Now, when fire water comes together, her condition will be heart attacks, stroke, blood pressure issues. Okay, you want to keep all these 3 mechanics in control. So whether it's her diet right now, make sure that everything is under control. She don't have low blood pressure or high blood pressure, because at this point right now, we're talking about blood pressure issue. We're talking about heart attacks problem, stroke base. Okay, so this is one of the key things that you want to be looking at. Pay very good attention to her this month. The next month you want to be paying attention to her health again. It's sometime around December period. Okay, so this is for that cover these 2 years, cover these 2 months. So that means it's in May, and 1 period is in December. Now, if you look at this, of course, some of us, if you want, you can be looking at your, achievement chart. You can plot out achievement chart. Technically, she's born in Sin year, right? So if you look at the chart here, now the Sin, it's already reflected right here. Okay, so I think right now even Simon can tell. Okay, there is a lot of worries. You are worried right now, right? Even she is worried right now, because you do see that there is the door of shock, Jingmen. Okay, when you look at Jingmen, door of shock, right? This is one of the element. But right now you also see that this is a water palace, because water, matter will produce water. So right now, the way I look at this is that it's some form of illnesses that could come up this year, but I don't think it's something that you need to worry too much, as long you keep her under control, monitor her, medical, give her medical attention when she needs it. This is very, very important, right? So Rika was saying that she has high blood pressure. You see, that's the power of Bazi. Why we can see it very clearly is because when you plot a Bazi chart, you look at the element itself. There is only that few elements inside the chart. Now, looking at the element of fire and water, this will already tells you that these are people easily prone with heart attacks, stroke, high blood pressure. So the key thing you want to take care right now, as long as the blood pressure don't go over the limit, then she will not be exposed to stroke. So that will be my advice for now. Okay, later on, next direction is I'll give you some Feng Shui setup. Probably what you can do is have her sleep in a better Feng Shui location on her bed, right? That's all you need to do. I don't talk about, buying stuff, your dragon, your phoenix. I don't talk about any of these ornaments. If you want to buy this thing, you can. But in my school of Feng Shui practices, I've never once said you need to buy any form of things, because I've studied and I've researched these things. Unfortunately, they are kind of a make you feel good kind of an element. But of course, some schools will say that this is like a phenomenon of divination. But I say that, if you want to really be putting a horse, you don't be spending like 8,888 to buy a very expensive horse. You can just buy a very cheap, figurine that look like a horse for a few dollars. So you can still activate your activations. That is your divination. Now, of course, now I cover, of course, the Rika questions. Okay, I probably can only take Joshua questions for the next session, okay, because I want to still be covering the third part. I think a lot of you has been waiting for that. So let me know that you enjoy this part of the training. So if you think that this part of the training is useful to you right now, help me to drop in comments. Help me to like and share the post, because I'm coming to give you the Feng Shui directions for 2020. This is some of the key things you can do, right? So this is what you want to be looking at now. In 2020, all right? So some of the key things you want to be looking at is, of course, the art of Feng Shui talks about a few things. We talk about the place that you stay in terms of externally, what is the external landform? This is very important, right? So why external landform is important? That you will realize, doesn't matter which part of the world, it can be anywhere in the world. Some places seems to be having a higher influx of high net worth individual. All right. And most people, when they talk about feng shui, they keep thinking it's just direction or my door facing or my house facing. This is only 40% of it. When you want to talk about feng shui, 60% of it is talking about external energy. After all, your energy comes from outside to inside your house. Make sense? I hope that makes sense to you. Okay. So while you're looking at it, you realize that, example, even in Singapore, most people are familiar with Bukit Timah. There's a lot of high net worth people staying there. You look at their house, some is facing east, some is facing west, some is facing north, but why is still a higher influx of high net worth people in that vicinity? So that is the power of external landform feng shui. When you choose a place to stay, it doesn't matter you're staying in the HDB, condominium, landed, it doesn't matter where is it, you need to look at outside, right? So what do you have in the 8 direction? I'm talking about outside all the way up to 400 meters. So now this is something, of course, I teach more in depth in our Feng Shui Masterclass. But if you're completely new, at least I give you some insight so you know when next time someone tells you, hey, this is Feng Shui, at least you know what is really Feng Shui and not just, buying some things and put inside your house and hope for things to happen. I would say hope is not a very good solution, because if all you're doing is hoping, you probably, don't get the kind of results you want to get very far. Okay, so that's external Feng Shui. I'll talk a bit about it a bit more. Now, if you want to have the guide, you have to stay put with me, because towards the end of it, I'll give you the link. You can download this guide. Yeah. So whatever I'm talking about, what I'm covering in this guide, it will all be given to you. So you don't worry about it. Right now, just give me your attention to understand. Because when you understand this, you get it so much faster. That's all you want to do. Let's talk a bit about internal Feng Shui setup. Now, you see, internal Feng Shui technically is talking about example. I do almost few, I cut down a lot of consultations already. I used to do a lot more consultations. But these days, because my timeline is really just packed and fully booked, in COVID-19, it got worsened because a lot of people, I think most of you were known, but right now, 60% of people is facing a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, they are loss of direction. So our consultation is packed to the brim. So even some of our instructors is helping to tank some of these consultations. So right now, I cut out quite a bit of consultations, but at least if you can take some of this Feng Shui learning, you can implement in your house. All you have to do is just to follow our Facebook live training like this. It's not difficult to understand, right? Documents, PDF guides is given to you. You can always replay the episodes if you don't know, you miss out some notes. So that's the whole idea of contributing to this community. And of course, what you can do for me right now is help me to share the post, set the post to public, and that will reach a lot more people in terms of, so they can get the same help as you. And you will be sure that that merit will go back to you. So first and foremost, I talk about intention. So why is this important? Too many people think that as long as I activate Feng Shui for my house, if it's good Feng Shui, I just need to sit down there, my pay will get increased, my boss will like me, my nobleman supporters will come and help me, and everything of this will just magically happen. I wish to tell you is true, but unfortunately, it doesn't work like that, all right? Because everything else, it goes back to the basic. The basics talks about the three trinity energy, the heaven, the earth, and the man energy. So man is always a connector of heaven and earth. If the man that is sitting down here right now, he doesn't want anything, he doesn't do anything, you will never get the outcome. What heaven is telling you is giving you a blueprint of your path, what is your destiny path headed up for. You can choose the house you want to stay. So obviously, if you choose a good house, you get an additional 33.3% 1/3 boost of good Feng Shui energy to help you, right? All the energy is to help you to support whatever you want and then turn them into reality, right? But it doesn't mean, oh, I want to strike lottery, so I stay in a good Feng Shui house, I'll just keep striking. Even you want to strike lottery, you need to do something. You need to go out and buy lottery. So you must understand the mechanics. Action must be taken, okay? So if you don't have action, you're not going to get the outcome. So it's very simple. So in order to use this setup that I'm talking about here, first thing first, you need to set an intention, all right? If you don't know how to set an intention, very simple. Some of you, you study a bit of Bazi, right? So in case you've forgotten, you can go back to just how I show you how you can go down to the year, the month, the day, and hour. You can branch it out. The software will do everything for you. go down to the day where it's your resource day. Okay, it's your indirect resource day or your direct resource day. It doesn't matter. Where it's your resource day, I want you to use that day. Just give yourself 1 minute to 5 minutes. Set the intention. What do you want? Okay. So if you, example, you say that, I had enough of this job. Please give me the guidance, right? Or the universe give me the guidance to change my job. You send the sign out. This is why you're setting intention. Then what is going to happen in the next couple of weeks, sometimes days, right? Yes, you heard me right. Sometimes days. It can happen so fast. So when you set intention, it resonates with the universe. The universe listen, and the series of events that's going to come and happen to you will start to unfold. It starts to meeting certain people. They will come to talk to you about it. It starts to, maybe some HR starts to push you, right? So this is what I'm trying to teach you some of the methodology, setting intention, right? And of course, you need to execute as well. If you really want to, some of you say that, I run a business right now. I want my business to go on to the next level. How can I be doing it? Then you ask for direction to send your business to the next level. Is it you want to scale up? You need more skill sets to take your business to the next level? Or is it you want to build out more, marketing leads, right? Maybe your client current portfolio is 1,000 customers. You want to grow to 2,000, and how do you go about doing it? Is it all about improvisation of your products, right? So all this is very important. Now, of course, after you're done with the intention setting part, the next thing that you'll be doing is this, right? So 2020, this is what we call a flying star chart. Of course, the actual Feng Shui that I do out for clients go beyond just the flying star chart. We analyze landform. We use Sanhe Feng Shui to analyze qi distribution, whether can your house tap onto a certain qi or not, right? And then the third part, you talk about energy mapping, which is this is the part I'm talking about. This is energy mapping, okay? So when you want to energy mapping or you want to activate energy, all you have to do is to understand this year, 2020, what is the energy coming to your house. Now, every year, this chart will change, subsequently plus minus 4th of Feb, 4th or 5th of Feb, depending when is the commencement of spring, okay, Li Chun. Now, when you have to understand a few things, this year, as we understand by this chart, right, it depends what you want to be tapping. Now, some of you will say that, I want a job change, okay? Then you can activate power of your southeast. This is the box here, right? So you are talking about you want better opportunity, job change. But of course, my take is still maybe if you want to change your job, really, really want to change your job, tries to stretch it until you got a job. Don't just quit like that because, hey, it's COVID-19 period right now. It's not easy to get a job. The last thing you want is you are now worrying about your cash flow. Is it enough? You got no job. You don't need that additional stress on you right now. Okay, so don't do that. Make sure that you already gotten the offer for a new job, then you quit your current job, right? If you really cannot stand your current job, right? But don't just quit and then say, I will send resume, because you will find yourself in the middle of nowhere. That's the last thing I want you guys to do, because my job is to make sure that you get on to the next level. You 10 times whatever you want for your outcome, 10x, right? So of course that coming from famous marketer, I think Brent Cardone or something. Okay, so of course, if you look at some of you, it says that, hey, you know what? I want to skill up. In fact, right now is the best time to skill up. What do you mean by skill up? Some of you say that, hey, I already attend university for a long time, then why should I still skill up? All I'm saying here is if you haven't read a book for the last 20 years after you left university, then why are you not learning new knowledge? Does it mean that by you completed university means that everything you stop learning, right? So you need to think about that, because right now is the best time to skill up. Learn what can you learn in this phase to evaluate whatever you're doing right now. So example, if you sell products, you have very good products, then you need to learn how to market a product so more people know how good your products can do for them, right? So that's the skill sets. So you want to tap onto academic skill sets, you want to be looking at this box here, okay? This is technically the southwest sector. Now, how do you really activate this sector? Flying star is not hard to activate. You can activate with water. All right. So what kind of water? Now you can go to IKEA or whatever. Of course, right now you probably cannot travel. You can still order online from IKEA, I believe. So you can just get a flask, right? Just get a flask, transparent flask. Just fill it with a bit of water, right? Cover it out with some cling wrap or what's not, right? So, and then you put in that sector. This is called activation of the sector of energy. You can do that, but it must equip with action. You cannot activate this. Example, you say, I want to learn a new skill sets, you activate southwest of the part of your house. So if you don't know southwest part of your house, later on, I'll give you the map to go about doing it. So, okay. And you do the activation and all you do is just sitting down there waiting for the new skill sets to just come to you. Unfortunately, it does not work like that. What it does here is this. When you activate it and you set an intention, it will help you to accumulate that skill sets very fast. Still remember those sort of time that you know last time you were studying for exams? Certain days you study 1 hour, you remember everything, right? And then certain days you study for 1 day, you can't seem to memorize everything. So why is that so? Energy level influence. This is the technique we're talking about here, right? So if you want to skill up, then you use the star 4, which is for academic. These days, people say this is the Wen Chang Wei. That means you use for your children to study well. You can, right? But how about yourself? Okay, what do you want to do? Now, some people is talking about future energy, future planning, or future investment. Then you can be looking at this box here, which is the West sector, right? So depending where you want to activate this water feature, remember, it must always equip with action and intention. You need to do both. You cannot just think and then you don't do anything, right? So if you set an intention already, you need to equip it with action, right? This is important. Some of you says, hey, I'm doing good in whatever I'm doing right now. So there are some businesses that are still earning decent money during the COVID-19 because their business happened to be on the digital era, right? Or the digital trend of it. Example, Zoom does very well during this time. A lot of people was buying their stocks, right? So then if you just want to take it to the next level, you can just, implement, this is based on your existing condition. This is on Northwest, right? And of course, if you do it, example, all you need is just supporters. You need mentoring help, right? You need people to help you. You need people to guide you. You need people to maybe open up a route for you to connect to another person. Then you can use the Northeast sector. Now, this energy, of course, is just activation of the annual energy. It can help you to align to your goals faster. But of course, if you want to talk about 100%, how do I maximize this? Then you need to understand your bazi, when to do it. That one will give you an even better energy level. And of course, Feng Shui, this is just energy mapping. Remember what I mentioned? Energy mapping will help with about 20%. The whole part of Feng Shui, 60% of it is all about external factors, right? That's for you to understand whether are you staying in the right place right now. Then, of course, the 40% of it is Feng Shui can be configured in such a way whereby for our academy, we use Sana Feng Shui. If you now understand what is Sana Feng Shui, it doesn't matter. It's just a classical Feng Shui techniques that we use to connect energies. We focus on a few things. Where are you sleeping right now? Your bed, right? Where is your stove right now? How about your main door? After your main door opens up, how does your path works? Do you have a furniture blocking it or what's not? I'm not just here talking about furniture, right? I'm talking about energy tapping into directions that ultimately shapes and influence everything to your goals. This is what we're talking about. That's real Feng Shui setup, right? So I hope that this part of the Feng Shui training will help you guys a bit. But let me just give you a bit of guideline in case you don't know how to do that. You stand in the center of your house with a floor plan, right? So when you are doing this center of your house, you take direction or compass, and then you can. This kind of Feng Shui compass stencil, you can find online easily. Just Google for compass stencil. You can find your north, south, east, west. But you need to take your phone, or if you don't have compass, that's fine. Take your phone, install the software, find out where your house main door is pointing and what's not. You overlay the directions. Then you'll be able to know, example, in this case, then where is now my south sector. Okay? This is just on we call this a bigger taiji. That means it's a overview of the massive space, right? You look at all of your sectoring, right? So then you have example, this is your north, and then this is your northeast, and then this is your east. So you got your 8 directions. You superimpose on it, then you decide, where you want to use the water activation. That's one part of it. Now, some of you will say that, hey, what if this is in my toilet? All right. I will say that you can still put water if you want it to do. It's just to activate the sector. But if you really can't do it, it's still fine. There is another method. We call it the inner, the smaller Tai Chi, which is you can go into your example. Most of the activities in the living room. You can go inside your living room, and then, of course, your living room also got 8 sectors. Remember? You got north, south, east, west, and then you got all your 8 directions. So you need to divide your living room into 8 directions. You can also put the water in that part of the sector. it can does the activation energy as well, right? So it's very, very straightforward for you to be tapping onto this energy. And then you can try it for yourself, because after that you will see, hey, you know, what has not been moving suddenly is activated. What some of the ideas, you know, you've been throwing out, you know, you've been one changing job, nobody offer you anything. Then suddenly, you know, there's people asking. Suddenly there's people, you know, getting you for interviews or asking for resumes. But again, I must mention, now is not the best time to change job. Keep your job right now. Be thankful to your employer, because at least they still keep you. Remember, it is very difficult for a lot of business owners right now, okay, because COVID-19 has stopped the whole world economy and a lot of businesses is breaking down and what's not. So I hope this part will starts to give you insights. But of course, next episode, I will go in depth with a bit more again on Bazi and Feng Shui training. And I'll talk a bit more on, of course, some of the dangerous sector that you should not be activating. Now, I talk about activating, I don't talk about putting water. Okay, this sort of activation is through loud noise, drilling, knocking. Okay, when you do this sort of activities, please check the PDF file before you do it. If you want to test Feng Shui whether it works or not. Now, when I was a student, I challenged not kind of challenged, but when I was a student, my masters taught me different things. So I said, really, this works like that? And what I did is I tried to test it. And soon enough, I got a taste of it, right? So from that day, I understand. If I really want to test the logic, the fastest way to know it's correct is you go and test all the negative direction. Then you see what happens to you, right? So please don't go and try it. So all I'm trying to tell you first is, well, some people will be challenging and they say, I don't subscribe to this. I want to test whether it's true or not. Okay, then I will put a disclaimer. Then please don't quote me on this, because my attention to you is don't try it. But if you want to go ahead, I can't stop you. Yeah. But of course, there are some of this guide I'm giving you, right, to give you access to it. So of course, I don't want to keep this. Well, we have done almost like 1.5 hours. Okay, so today is a roughly longer session, because I took a couple of questions. I teach you guys some parts, and then of course Feng Shui. Of course, last but not least, before I wrap things up for you, then and I give the links to you for you to download the guides. Again, the Bazi Jumpstart, a lot of you is asking, can you open up the next master class for us, because we have completed Bazi Jumpstart. Is excellent, but I want to get out to the next class to learn everything. Don't worry, you'll receive the email from us within these 3 days. Now, more than 2,000, I think 800 plus people have signed up over the last few weeks of campaign that we have launched. The final discount, again, will no longer be extended after this final round. So then if you have not gotten in, then just try to get into the class, and then you get to know, actually, training is not difficult, right? There's a few videos to get you started. There are PDF file to guide you along the way. And then, of course, with the master class, there will be coaching call. That means live coaching call where you can get on a session with me or my instructors where we can answer some of your questions, and then you get more interactive sessions like this, like what we are doing this right now. Okay. So of course, to kind of get a copy of the PDF file, let me just get you the links, right? Okay, I need to disable the comment first. Okay. So this is it, right? So when you want to get the PDF file, what you can be doing first is please key in comment, right? Success. Right, you need to key in one word, success. Okay, so you get on to the success, and then what happened is I think my team set this up, so I don't really know how this thing works. It's I think the bot or something will try to contact you, and then after that you will send the link. You will send the link of the last. This is episode 8, right? So we will give you the link of the past 7 episodes. If you miss it, it's okay. We have consolidated all of this for you, right? So make sure that you key in success. This is a different guide from your last time you have access to the Growth 2020. So get this, all right? It will have the consolidation of all your 8 episodes plus today, and the PDF file that I'll show you on screen right now. You will get access to this. Okay, so some of you is already asking for Feng Shui class. We do have that, and we will drop you more information on that. Don't worry about it. Okay, so get one course started first, and at least you realize, hey, metaphysics is not hard to learn. There's software, there's everything. And so these are software that we have spent almost $100,000 in development, right? Just to get all of this up for you guys. It's quite relatively easy to use. All you need is just the guideline, that's all. Okay. So punch in success right now. Okay. So if you have not helped me to share the post, please help me to like and share. Some of you may not get a sharer status. What I know is this: if you, every time you come in, you share and set to public, maybe a couple of times after you join the live, you will immediately get a share. But by right, you should have the sharer after you set to public. If you did not set to public, I think Facebook will not assign you the sharer. Now, of course, the next session, I still have not forgotten Joshua. All right, so I got the questions for Joshua. If possible, you will join me on the next session. I'll answer your questions personally. For some of you, if you still got parts of questions or some Feng Shui questions, you can join me live. So I'll be doing this for quite a while because it's still stay at home for most of us in Singapore, Malaysia, friends. I think you guys, at least, you still got to be careful. Yeah, although some of the restriction has been lifted a little bit, business can open, but please, still be careful, wash your hygiene, take care of yourself. And of course, last but not least, let me dedicate, this session and tonight, and for all of us here, a very, very happy Mother's Day, because, Mother's Day, in fact, if you don't know what they are stars in your life, they are called your direct resource stars, okay? You see, that's the powerful thing about mothers. They are always providing, they are always giving their best, and they always do it without asking any favors, anything in return. So please, send your love to your moms, right? If you have not called them, please give them a call. Now is no reason to not talk to them and what's not, right? So if you're not been visiting them, give them a call, send them well wishes. Hey, you can write a letter. So I hope all of this thing helps, and I will see you live in my next session. So in case you don't know how to get this notification, you really enjoy this session, this is what you have to do. When this live session ends, there is a button called live notification. Okay, you need to click on it. So besides just like and follow, you need to click that button. Because once you click that, you don't need me to remind you anymore, because the system, every time there's a live session, it will automatically inform you. Because Facebook has already changed the algorithm. Some of you is coming in from YouTube, because we're streaming live from both sessions. So like example, this is Taki Wisya, right? Take Wisya. So this is coming from YouTube, right? So YouTube, you may not be able to get the, what you can do is you can, for the YouTube users, find us on our Facebook live session. You key the success in the Facebook live video comment section, because YouTube, they don't do the detection for the comments. And right now it's only enabled for Facebook Live. So what I can do is find the Facebook Live and you can comment success. Even this session is end, you can still comment, because the bot is activated 24/7. It can take care of sending you all the things and stuff. So I hope you really enjoyed tonight's session. Thank you. Good night and have a great rest. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.